Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. The weather was incredible. The football, obviously, last night wasn't actually the best, if I'm honest. But hey, it's basically now the end of the season. It's all going to be about transfers. It's about contracts renewals. It's going to be about players being sold as well, on top of all those things. So let me talk about, I think there's some good news and some potential bad news. So I'm going to start with the good news, okay? Because I want to start with a positive. In every situation, start with a positive, right? So this has come from Fabrizio Romano, the main man himself. The Tottenham Hotspur are now on the verge of reaching an agreement with David Raya on personal terms, long-term contract, also almost all agreed after positive talks. Raya, who wants to move to Spurs, but club talks will be crucial because Brentford want around about £40 million. So let's start with the sort of personal term side of things first. Obviously, really good news that we're being proactive in the market, especially because I think we are quite far behind this market with obviously everything that's gone on in the last sort of 4 or 5 months. It's nice that we're proactive in terms of what we're going for. Now, don't get me wrong, Postecoglou might really like this guy, but he also was a target about a year ago for this summer. So it's not really something that's brand new to any Spurs fan. And we know Daniel Levy's playing a massive part in those sort of things. Is David Raya a good keeper? Yes. Will he be able to play out from the back? Yes. Is he Prem proven? Yes. I don't see his contract being anything too wild and too crazy. He's obviously a very good age, obviously in his mid to late 20s. The 40 million price tag, obviously this has nothing to do with, Spurs or, Raya himself, but obviously he's got 1 year left on his deal if you weren't aware. The guy's not worth £40 million. Obviously that'll be because Brentford want to put as much of a fee down on him as possible to basically draw out as much money as possible. They don't really have too strong a ground to stand on, unfortunately, because the fact is they've signed Flecken. I think they've still got Shakosha as the backup keeper. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's already rejected multiple contracts. He's not going to sign a new contract. You can kind of see where this is going. And I can kind of also predict how this will go. Hey, we got a deal agreed with the player. We're all sorted. Just got to get a deal agreed with Brentford now. Daniel Levy going, I've got a good relationship with them. No, he doesn't. But I've got a good relationship with them. I'll get a good deal out of it. We're going to draw this out for ages and ages and ages, and it's going to cost £35 million. Not really going to work too well. I would happily be, wrong there. I would happily be wrong, but I think as Spurs fans know, deals that we get somehow agreed with players early on in a window do not actually translate to them being then completed earlier in the window. This I hope we do. I mean, again, we need a new number one. Obviously, Hugo's going to be leaving this summer. We need a new number one. If we can get it under wraps and sorted early doors, we can then look at the sort of centre-back position area. We can then look at the midfield. And I think that's how we should look at it. I don't think we need a number 9, with the wingers as such, a creative midfielder as such. I think we need to get the keeper, get that sorted, get a centre-half as well, get that sorted, get the creative midfielder, and then look to stock out the rest of the areas that you need to look at, whilst also simultaneously getting rid of the players that you don't need. So let me move on to some potential bad news. Now, this is... I don't know if this is good or bad news in terms of how you want to look at it, but these sort of news stories came out not far apart from one another. So let me start with, and these are both on James Maddison, by the way. So let me start with the first one. The first one came from Scott Wilson in the Northern Echo. Obviously, really in the know about the Newcastle, Middlesbrough, Sunderland region. And he said that he reported that Spurs have understood to have opened preliminary negotiations with the Leicester board over a potential deal for James Maddison. And then I think it was about 20 minutes, later, Sky Sports said that Newcastle are leading Spurs in the race to sign James Maddison. So first and foremost, okay, look, you're going to be in the know in terms of if you're really truly in the know, be it an Alistair Gold, be it a Paul O'Keefe, be it somewhere in that realm. Maybe not the Northern Echo as such, but look, he's got to be in the know. He's got to know something potentially, okay? So let's hold the word as the way we look at it, okay? He may know something. Obviously, it's good to know that we've opened preliminary talks. We sort of understand that that's probably where we're at right now. We have probably spoken to Leicester about Maddison. What do they want? What can it, maybe instalments? what does the deal look like? Newcastle being ahead doesn't really shock me. They've been wanting Maddison for a while. It's something, a position that they feel like they need. Would suit the trajectory of the club as well. He does obviously want to live closer to London. Okay, so that stands in our favour. Yes, we don't have European football, but we'll still pay him good money. Leicester will obviously deal with Leicester. It's not too much of a concern, I don't think, in that regard. But what I do think is interesting is how Newcastle can quite quickly get sort of deals done, and how quickly we don't get deals done, and how quickly we somehow muck up a deal. On that, we'll have to wait and see, really, because I think as much as I love, the ability, the potential, of James Maddison, he's not the first position that I'm going for. For me, it's got to be the keeper. Look, if we're getting rid of our number one keeper, we need to go get then the next number one keeper. Then for me, we need a top quality centre half. I've always said Aymeric Laporte would be my guy there. I mean, you look at the Champions League final, you had Ake playing, you had Diaz playing, Stones, you had Akanji playing, Walker came on. The only defender really didn't play that was Laporte, and we should be looking, I think, to jump all over that because he's quality and he's exactly what we would need. Then if you could say Raya, Laporte, then you could go, right, then we know to sort of get Maddison. Now, don't get me wrong, a competent club can go and do a few deals all at one time. We've never really been that club. We've always gone, get that deal sorted. Right, we need to look at a centre-back. I tell you what, that centre-back that went there would have been really good, but he's gone now, so that's a shame. What do we do? Yeah, and then we scramble. Whereas we should be able to work 2, 3, 4 deals on a go, as well as 2, 3, 4 of deals being sold and players leaving. We should be able to do all of that, but knowing us, it doesn't happen like that. David Raya is a good addition. James Maddison would be a good addition. I think Laporte would be a great addition. But you remember next year, we don't need the size of squad that everyone thinks we do. We don't need to bring in 8 to 10 players. We actually could get rid of 8 to 10 players and bring in 4 or 5 players, work with a smaller squad, less of a wage bill. Financial fair play will benefit us in the long run on that regard because there are more rules coming in place about how you have to live more within your means and all that jazz. But if you can work within that, there's no reason with a top class centre half, a good keeper, a creative midfielder now, with the attacking options that we already have and style of play that we can build in, there is no reason why we couldn't be a top 4 team next year with the ability in that squad, right? So we'll see about that. But anyway, guys, that was just a quick one today because, like I said, I wasn't expecting to make a video today. It's been a long weekend. I've enjoyed the sun. I've enjoyed being out in it all day, and unlike you guys, it's absolutely shattering. But it was just a quick one, just to sort of talk about it because there's been some good news coming out of Spurs for once. It's been about doom and gloom for the last sort of few months. For once, it'd be nice to have something good come out. But anyway, guys, like the video if you did enjoy that. Drop a comment about the David Raya situation. Are you happy that he's probably looking to be our new number one from next season onwards? Subscribe if you are new and bell notifications for a lot more. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, lads.